Planes, dames, games, Claude Rains, and a chubby Italian man? Get your passports, folks, we're flying to Morocco! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 5 Golden Frames. It was 10 Golden Frames, but now it is 5 Golden Frames because we listened to you, the audience, and what you had to say was simple: make it shorter. So that's exactly what we've done. Instead of 10 frames, we're going to review 5 frames from classic films of the 20th century to figure out what makes them great. It's the same show, it's just shorter. And as always, I'm your host, Matt Caridi. Today's film comes to us from 1942, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, directed by Michael Curtiz. It is my personal favorite film. It is the movie that made me love movies. It is Casablanca, the story of a cynical, selfish American expatriate who runs a poppin' bar in Morocco during World War II, and who just so happens to walk into his poppin' bar, the former love of his life who abandoned him at a train station, and her husband, the messiah-like leader of the Czech resistance. They need papers to get out of Casablanca, and Rick's got 'em. What ensues is 102 minutes of the best content Hollywood has ever pooped out. This is a talky movie. It's like a novella put to screen. Yes, it's a melodrama, but when you throw the best talent Hollywood has to offer, both on and off camera, at a single timely project, sometimes you hit a home run. Casablanca is that home run. So without further ado, let's get into the pictures.
Could have made this arrest earlier in the evening at the Blue Parrot. But out of my high regard for you, we're staging it here. It will amuse your customers.
Our entertainment's enough.
Rick, we'd have an important guest here tonight. Major Strasser, of the Third Reich, no less. We want him to be here when we make the arrest. A little demonstration of the efficiency of my administration.
I see. And what's Strasser doing here?
This scene is pure exposition. It feels natural because the acting and writing are top-notch, but that doesn't change the purpose of this scene, which is meant to tell the audience what is happening and why it's happening. Movies are meant to show, not tell. But in the event that you have to tell, it's vitally important that you make the frame as interesting as possible. Make the most of the mundane. And wouldn't you know it, Michael Curtiz did just that. He played with shadows. He chose to have Claude Rains talk to Bogart's Cigarette-Toting Silhouette, making his ordinary scene vibey as hell. It's a simple but elegant shot. Next frame.
I bet they're asleep in New York. I bet they're asleep all over America. Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine.
This is an iconic shot. It's the one most people think of when they think of Casablanca. Look at the conviction in Bogart's eyes. Look at the pain on his face. It looks like he got punched in the gut. He's drunk and reminiscing over lost love, the heartbreak he thought he had overcame, just walked back into his life, causing all those memories and feelings to come back at once. He's lit in moody, low-key light. The bottle in the foreground is balanced by the lamp in the background. Over his left shoulder is a very interesting shadow, and over his right is the door he's waiting for Ingrid Bergman to walk through. There's a universality to being drunk and heartbroken, and it is captured in this shot. Next frame. Ingrid Bergman looks like a specter in this frame. She's ghostly, she's wearing all white, and she's backlit by a very fierce bulb, visually verifying that she is a ghost from Bogart's past. Yes, that's a cliche, but in the words of Italian critic Umberto Eco, 2 cliches make us laugh, but 100 cliches move us. Ain't that the truth? Ingrid Bergman is centered in this frame. Rick and Sam flank her left and right. Both are looking at her, which further guides our eyes to her. The shot is moody and magical, dreamlike and sullen. It is an overlooked jewel of this film. Next frame.
I'm staying here with him till the plane gets safely away.
No, Richard, no. What has happened to you last night?
Last night we said a great many things. You said I was to do the thinking for both of us. Well, I've done a lot of it since then. It all adds up to one thing. You're getting on that plane with Victor where you belong.
But, Richard, no,
Now, you've got to listen to me. You have any idea what you'd have to look forward to if you stayed here? 9 chances out of 10, we'd both wind up at a concentration camp. Isn't that true, Louis?
I'm afraid Major Strasser would insist.
You're saying this only to make me go.
I'm saying it because it's true.
This is a humble frame, 2 people, a plane, and a car, that's it. But that's all it needs. Bogart and Bergman's performances carry this scene. It is the climax of the film, push has come to shove, and Bogart has shown his true colors. He's decided to sacrifice himself, literally his life, for the sake of the resistance, by letting Victor and Elsa get on the plane instead of him. He's chosen duty over love. He's chosen the greater good over his personal safety and well-being. Yes, that's a cliche, but it's effective as all hell because it is analogous to the real-life heroic sacrifices of every American who fought in World War II, who gave their lives for peace and freedom. Bogart embodies that generation, the greatest generation, and that's a huge reason why this movie has stood the test of time. Last frame.
It might be a good idea for you to disappear from Casablanca for a while. There's a Free French garrison over at Brazzaville. I could be induced to arrange a passage.
My letter of transit? I could use a trip. But it doesn't make any difference about our bet. You still owe me 10,000 francs.
And that 10,000 francs should pay our expenses.
Our expenses? Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
This is our riding off into the sunset shot, even though it's a misty tarmac, and I can't help but feel good. 2 self-proclaimed egotists just did the right thing, the selfless thing, and by God, they got a happy ending, at least within the confines of the script. Here's why I love this shot. They're walking into mist, not a sunset. That imagery makes me think that their futures are uncertain. After all, the movie was released in the middle of World War II. Victory was not certain, but this frame, this ending is hopeful. It speaks to the fundamental truth of life that nothing is for certain, and we can only do our best and hope for the best. That is why this movie is awesome, to effectively communicate a universal truth while simultaneously moving someone emotionally through 102 minutes of picture and sound. That is the power of film. That is why I go crazy over cinema. When it's done right, it is like nothing else in the world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, those were 5 golden frames, and that's our show. If you liked what you just saw and want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That is enormously helpful to me and this show. Watch Casablanca if you haven't seen it, and if you have seen it, watch it again because it never gets old. So until next time, keep watching movies.